thing that made our team, the team it was the way we communicated with one another. And I'd like to touch on some of the ways we communicated with each other, particularly the ones that have been mentioned already today, because they are so important, so I want to reinforce them. One of the things we did on Spirit of Australia, my yacht, was we had a daily meeting, much as your Attitude Ambassador said they did with their team. So every day, no matter how bad the weather, the crew would all get together on deck for at midday, and we would have a meeting. The first part of the meeting would be mainly me talking. I would talk about what had happened in the last 24 hours, what was coming up in the next 24 and 48-hour periods in regards to the weather. I'd talk about our strategy, where we were going to go around the weather systems. I'd draw it out on a little whiteboard, what our opposition were doing and how we were going to sort of cover them. And I wouldn't stop giving them this information until I'd answered every question. I was absolutely sure that there was clarity on all the crew's part about what change was coming, how we were going to cope with it, how it would affect them, and what our strategy was to deal with it. The next part of the meeting, and this sounds super cheesy, but I would say to the crew, can we just take a moment to reconnect with our purpose? And our purpose was a little statement that we came up with before we left, and it was to do all we can to win the race and feel fulfilled. So I would say to the crew, how are we feeling about that today? And some days, no one had much to say. Yeah, it was fine. We feel like we're generally heading in that direction. Other days, maybe when things weren't going so well, when there was some ambiguity over role allocation, or one of our processes seemed a bit outdated or a bit clunky, or there was some tension brewing between the different crew members, then that question brought a raft of input from everybody, and everyone wanted to have a say in how we could do things and be the best we definitely could be. So I'd like to think that having that purpose very clearly articulated and repeated every single day. It was like we were looking at the world through a piece of glass with those words, that purpose etched on it. And everything that we saw through that prism, and would it take us closer to that goal, that ideal? It was hugely powerful. In the final part of the meeting, I would just open out to a forum. I'd say, forum time, guys. Anyone got anything to say? And this was our chance to air any grievances that anyone might have, deal with conflict as a team. It was a way of us showing recognition for people for their extra hard work, or in a similar way to the badges that you have. And anything could be said there, and everyone's contribution was welcomed and valued and appreciated.